Hello everybody and welcome to my fourth PHP tutorial, and this tutorial is going to show you how to use variables in your code to store information to be used at a later date. And so first of all, just before I start, if you're looking to follow along with the examples I'm using, you're going to be able to pick them up off our website. Which you can go to. I'll put a link in the bottom, but it's yourprogrammingnetwork.co.uk, and you'll be able to, underneath the video of this one on this website, there'll be a download button, and you'll be able to download all of the code that I've been creating along in the tutorials. And if you've got any questions, just pop onto our forum and put them on there under the PHP section, and one of us will respond to you with any questions you've got. So I'd recommend following along with the code in front of you. It can be quite useful if you're not writing it all yourself, that is. So let's get started, and I'm going to do this one entirely in PHP. So let's start off with PHP here, and then end off with PHP down here. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a variable. So a variable is kind of space on your computer that your program will allocate to itself and then use throughout the program to store and access information. So I'm going to have a variable called you always start off with a $sign, and I'm going to call it my first variable. And then, so any variable you write, you start off with a $sign, and this just signals to PHP that you're starting to write a variable. And then you put the name of what you want to call that slot that you're using to store information in on your computer. And then we're going to put an equals, and this isn't it doesn't mean equals in this case, it means assign a value. So I'm going to create this variable, I'm going to give it some information. So in this case, I'm going to give it I am the first variable as a string. So now this variable stores that piece of text or string in the memory of the computer, so we can now access that information later on and for the rest of our code. So now if we go into a echo command, so echo, and then if I want to echo out that variable, I just type the variable again, so my first variable, and then semicolon, and make sure you've put a semicolon after the declaration of your variable and its value, and then that is it. So press save. So you might be thinking that it's gonna, when we run this, it's gonna say my first variable, but what it's actually going to do is it's going to take this string, store it into that place in the computer, and then when we call it again, it's going to take that information out of the computer's memory and relay it back to the screen. So if we open up Google and go to localhost/website, and it's going to say I am the first variable, and you can reference it as many times as we like. So if I go 1, 2, 3, and then put it out 4 times, then each time it's going to reference it, and it's just going to put that same piece of text that I've got at the start over and over again. And if let's say I change it, so I am the first variable reborn, press refresh, and then they'll all change. So you can immediately see one of the advantages. You can't see most of the main advantages, but one of them is you can put a variable in at the top, use it multiple times, and then if you want to change it, so let's say you assign a color to that variable and then you put that color everywhere in your HTML, using PHP, and then whenever you want to change it, you only have to change it once. And so then that comes out. And that is essentially how you use variables. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you a little bit more and how you can start manipulating them and combining them together. So thanks for listening, and I hope to catch you in the next tutorial.